10 years of marriage, 10 years of living together, guys, 10 years of having four loving, beautiful kids, 9, 5, and the last two twins, 3 years, two boys, two girls, and one fateful night. The father, a man who they call a father decided to wake up, force these kids to take poison, and after drinking this poison, he decided to stab them one at a time. And when he was done with all of these guys, he took this poison and killed his own self. This is the story of a Kenyan man named Ronnie Ocheng Inyore. Ronnie Ochengiore, who resides at Oma Bay County at East Kocha in Kenya, was wed to Monica Ndeda, and they both had four beautiful kids. The two first girls were 9 and 5, then the last twins were twin boys, 3 years each, and they had this blissful 10 years of marriage. He was a dutiful father and dutiful husband. He was the sole breadwinner of the family. He was used to taking care of the bills, feeding, and all of that. And he had a very deteriorating sickness. He was diabetic. He was taking these insulin injections on a regular. Now, 2020 came, COVID-19 pandemic. He was working in a mining company, but because of this pandemic, he was being laid off. Now, he was laid off from work. He wasn't able to actually provide for the family anymore. He wasn't able to do all of that. Even to pay house rent was very difficult, and they had to move back to the rural area where they had houses in the village. So just to escape house rent, they moved back to the rural area. Now feeding became very difficult. The wife, who was used to doing menial jobs, started becoming the sole breadwinner of the family, and this wasn't enough. It wasn't enough in any way. His insulin injections, he wasn't able to actually get them anymore, all because things were being bad. Now this faithful, dutiful father and dutiful husband, who was loving, became very violent, started issuing threats there and then, became very abusive to both the kids and to the wife, and all because depression was creeping in. Guys, when depression creeps in, we know that it's really bad. Ronnie became extremely violent, extremely abusive. It got to a point that there was a particular incident that happened that Ronnie had locked both himself and his wife in a room, and he had threatened to kill both himself and the wife. And at this time, she knew that okay, she needed to take the right decision. She needed to move. She went to the assistant chief in the area and like complained, but the man was like, you know what, we can't really help you. You need to go to the right authorities, be it the police or you go to child welfare or NGOs. So she was like, okay, she started initiating the process. Not until one day she was badly beaten by Ronnie that she couldn't even walk for 6 months. She couldn't stand on her feet, and that's when she knew that she needed to run. She needed to run for her life. She needed to be safe. And people around were telling her, madam, you need to run, you need to be safe, you need to take your kids away from this man, or else one day something is going to happen. And she knew she needed to, and she started initiating this incident. She started living at a neighbor's place just to be far away from the husband, to be safe for a wife, for him to relax. On December 6th, this fateful night, he sent her a message, and in this text message he told her, thank you so much for everything, goodbye. She felt it was weird. But of late, her husband Ronnie had been behaving really weird, so she didn't really pay much attention to it, and she just slept off. Then the next morning, she came to the home probably to cook, and that was when she saw her children, blood everywhere in the home, two on the right, two on the left, and the father Ronnie was in between, and she started wailing. Unknowingly to her, the night Ronnie had sent her that weird message was the night he planned on killing his children. On that December 6th, he forced the kids to take poison. He forced them in drinking this poison. And when it was done, it wasn't even enough. He took a knife and started stabbing these kids one at a time, from the 9 to the 5 to the 3-year-olds. He stabbed them, and he had multiple stab wounds on them. And when he was done with all of this, he took the poison himself and killed his own self. And that was when the mother saw it. She was seeing blood everywhere. Immediately, neighbors rushed in, and they noticed that the children were still alive, but Ronnie had been dead on sight. And they were rushed to the Omar Bay Teaching Referral Hospital. The two older ones were kept in the normal wards, while the two younger ones, the two twins, were kept in the ICU. because they were badly injured, and the poison had started getting to their brain. It was deteriorating a lot of organs in their system. They were struggling to actually keep these two boys alive. They were in critical condition. But around 9 p.m. December 7th, they succumbed to the injuries and the poison and they died. But the two older ones were actually getting treatment and were getting better. And this was how a man who was very faithful, very dutiful, he was a breadwinner, he was doing okay, he was loving, he was nice, became very violent, became really depressed, and became very abusive to his family. In all of this is the woman I pity the most. She has lost her husband, she has lost her two younger children. But do you think there's something she would have done? Do you think she would have acted faster? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below.